Hey, this is Little Talk with Big Nikki.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Little Talks with Big Nikki. I am your host, Big Nikki. Happy 2020, everybody. If you are watching and or even listening to this podcast right now, first of all, I appreciate you. And secondly, you will see that we have a new setup. 2020 is here and we have not come to play. We are doing only the best that can possibly be done. So got myself some audio equipment, got myself a ring light. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see maybe my face is a little more lit up, a little more even. I am so excited. Guys. I can't even describe to you how excited I am to have this new setup, to have this new equipment. I'm very thankful for everybody in my life who has either financially and or technologically, that's not a word I know, supported me in helping me get all this crap set up and done. And 2020, we are just here for bigger and better things. If you follow along, you'll notice that I took a week off from the podcast. That is because I needed some time to get all my crap together. I feel like a lot of us in the new year, we're like, we just need to get our crap together. I feel that. So just getting my crap together in terms of getting this audio equipment working, making sure everything was set up for you guys, giving myself a little bit of a mental reset about, thinking of topics, thinking about what we're going to be talking about. So you might be like, well, Nicole, what has 2020 brought to you? What are your resolutions and your goals for the year? Well, I will tell you. I will tell you right now, actually. 2020 for me is about continuing growth. And that is in a lot of aspects of my life. I would say the majority of that would be professionally, career-wise. I will be graduating this May from college. Woo woo! Finally, Mama, we made it. Hopefully. I shouldn't say that yet. I have 6 months of school left. I shouldn't get ahead of myself. Five months. But should be, keyword, should be graduating in May. And I'm excited to put my best self out there. I have some big plans in the works, in the making, when it comes to my career path. That's something I'm really excited to actually talk to you guys about, especially a lot of you who are going into college or who are in college. Some things that I've just learned over the past 4 years. That'll be another podcast. We'll get into that here in a couple weeks. But also, just with doing this podcast, like I said, I have personal goals of, growing my following, growing the listening. I want to put the best work out there that I can, and I want people to join me on this journey of what I'm talking about. And hopefully 2020 is going to be the year for that. I really want to see this thing kind of kick off and get off the ground. 2019 was really just like a test year, a test run, the pilot, if you want to talk about in terms of like TV. It really was the pilot of things. I really didn't know what I wanted, and I didn't know how to do it. Also, can I just say how cool it sounds for me to hear myself in my earbuds right now? This is really awesome. Big shout out to Ryan. Ryan, if you're watching and listening to this, which you better be, Ryan was on the podcast a few episodes ago. If you go back, we talked about things that were simply overcomplicated. Ryan got me hooked up with all of this stuff. And shout out to my roommate Becca. Thank you so much for the Christmas gift 2 years ago, which was this microphone and the pop filter. So did not have to spend money on that. So very appreciative for the people in my life who continually support me just in all aspects, I'm very, very thankful for the circle of people I have around me. But yeah, back to the pilot. 2019 really was what I would call a test year for me. I started my YouTube channel, and I'm not going anywhere. Don't think I'm not leaving YouTube. But I started my YouTube channel, and I thought I knew what I was doing. I very much did not. If you go back, I'm not going to be deleting anything. I am not a deleter. I don't delete things from my past, even if they were quote unquote failures or didn't work out or something. I'm not deleting it. And here's why, because I look back on that first episode I recorded. It's going to be a year. You guys won't see this until after the year mark, but pretty much 2 days from right now when I'm recording this will be a year since I put out my first podcast vlog. It's very confusing, which is why partially, what I want to talk about on this episode of the podcast, but I really didn't know what I was doing, and I like to look back on that and see how scared I was to talk in front of a camera and how awkward I was, and I didn't know what I was doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing, okay? I don't know. But I have a much clearer picture of what I want. I told everybody that I was starting a YouTube channel because I was like, well, people can watch me if they want. It's just me sitting there talking on my couch, and I was wrong. And I'm one of those people where I usually don't have a hard time admitting I was wrong. If I'm in the wrong, I'll usually say it. So I'm saying it now. I was in the wrong in terms of what I thought I knew and what I thought people would like and enjoy for entertainment. I was very wrong because YouTube really is a visually creative space. There's so many people who vlog, actually vlog and actually YouTube about so many different things. Recently I've been watching Emma Chamberlain. I don't know, it's so crazy to me that as human beings we'll sit there and watch another human being drive to Target, but we will, and that's just that's just how it is, I guess. It's some psychological thing. I can't explain it. I'm not a doctor. But after watching her and realizing how much I was caught up and enjoyed watching her, and I was like, wow, this is really great. Going forward in 2020, my kind of big announcement, other than hopefully this podcast sounding freaking awesome now, because of this new mic and setup, I also want to start actually vlogging. My goal right now is to do every other week, so you guys know if you follow along, and if you don't know, well, welcome to Little Talks with Big Nikki. We put a new podcast out every other Friday. Right now that's just kind of how it has to be with how crazy my schedule is, especially with school starting again. So the vlog then would be in the filler weeks. In those gap weeks, I would put out a vlog. So every week, either my goal is to have a vlog out or a podcast out. I have incredible people, like I said, in my life who are down for my vision, down to help me build my channel, build this podcast. So I'm very excited. If you're wondering, Nicole, what are you going to vlog about? Well, I don't know, but it's going to be, well, I do know. That's all. I do know that. But I don't want to say yet. I don't want to say. But it's going to be a whole new set of challenges for me. Just like I had to get comfortable talking in front of a camera and everything, I also am going to now have to be comfortable walking around public with a DSLR on a handheld tripod, talking to myself in Target, for example. So going to be a lot of new challenges, but I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be something I really enjoy once I kind of find my groove with it. So if you have been following along, or you are just now kind of being on the bandwagon, being a fan, I just encourage you, if you kind of wrote me off from the content and the quality and whatever I put out last year, I really encourage you to try me out again. I think that people so many times, whether it's music or YouTube or something like this podcast, as soon as it comes out, like if the very first one's not like right on the money and it's not perfect, like people will just write it off and not revisit it. But what you don't understand is like a lot of these people, they really don't know what they're doing, and it really is like a learn as you go thing, and it's just going to keep getting better and better. So to all of you who have been with me since day one and you know how bad the videos were this time last year, quality wise, sound wise, everything, how awkward I was in front of a camera. For those of you, who have been just following along anyway and supporting me, I really do appreciate it. But for everybody else, I really do encourage you, come back to the channel, come back to the podcast. We're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts. Come back and give me a try. Just see how we have improved. This improvement for me was for nobody but myself. There again, I'm vulnerable and honest with you guys, and that is not going to change in 2020. A lot of you know who have been listening. I'm a perfectionist for sure, and I expect only the best, but at the same time, I have to look back at a year ago, and even though I knew at the time it wasn't the best, I knew it was the best that I could do for my budget, my skill level, my knowledge of things. That really honestly was the best at that point in time. But now we are moving up bigger and better. So even with the vlogs, come back to the YouTube channel. I encourage you all to actually hopefully watch like a vlog that's not just me sitting on my couch. That's gonna be me pushing myself outside of a comfort zone. But I'm excited and hopeful for it, and I really would appreciate your guys' support. So that's like in short, which I guess wasn't that short because it's like 13 minutes in, but pretty much like that's what we are gonna have cooking in 2020, vlogs and podcasts. Some people are like, oh, like do you hope to be an influencer? And I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like this type of stuff is like something I'm good at because I can get pretty comfortable in front of a camera pretty quick. I enjoy stuff behind the camera just as much. For anyone new who doesn't know me really, I do photography, starting to dip my toe into videos as well. And I feel like this is comfortable for me, and not to sound narcissistic, but kind of like in the sound of my own voice, especially in this microphone. This is awesome. This is kind of like comforting and relaxing for me, and I hope vlogging is the same. And if it is meant to be, if God wants to bless me with a bigger platform, bigger following, then if the opportunity comes, then heck yeah, I'll do some brand endorsements or whatever is to come. But if not, and if just one person needs to hear something I'm saying on these podcasts, then I guess so be it in that regard. Let that be as it is. Some other goals of 2020 that I want to share with you guys. I just got back into boxing. I know. Go Nicole. Go Nicole. Woo. I wish I had sound effects on the podcast. That might be the next come up. We're not quite there yet, guys. Everything is a slow work in progress. Things cost money. Things take time. Things take knowledge. Sometimes you just got to know the right people. Like, it'll all come together. If anything, this is teaching me not to expect perfection on the very first try of things, because it's not gonna happen. But yeah, just got back into boxing. Bought myself a membership yesterday. Hopefully hopefully even when school starts again, I will be able to keep up with that. Lord knows I need to. I have not exercised in 10 months. Yikes. That's so bad. That is so bad. I hate admitting that, but I said I was gonna be honest. I haven't exercised in like 10 months, and I love boxing. So I started my boxing journey at Cleveland State. They have a Pink Gloves boxing program that I was a part of. I was an instructor for it for it was 2 years. And then just schedule wise, stuff just kind of got to be too much, and work and school, and I just some stuff happened in the program that I was like, okay, like it's an awesome program. Like if your school has it, ladies especially, I recommend you do it, Pink Gloves Boxing. But just here personally for me, just relationships kind of were changing and things were happening, and I didn't want to really do it anymore. I don't know why I feel bad saying that. I shouldn't feel bad saying that. It's nothing against the program or anyone involved in the program. I just personally did not want to teach and or really be a student, and like the time for the class I needed to take, because it's like a tier system, it just wasn't gonna work for my schedule, and I just had to come to terms with, you don't need to finish everything you start. I know that sounds really bad and really like a quitter's motto, but this isn't about being a quitter. This is really about sometimes, like, I'm one of those people where I'm very task oriented. So once I start something, I want to finish it. So my goal when I started boxing, I said I'm going to do tier 1 through 7, because 7 is the highest tier. I'm going to finish this sucker out. Well, I got like I just finished tier 4, and I didn't finish the other 3, and I don't lose sleep over that. So sometimes, guys, it is okay to not finish everything you start. Maybe we'll do an extended edition, edition of that on another podcast. But so haven't boxed in a year and a half. Have my wraps and my gloves still and everything from it just sitting in my closet. And I was researching, local possible like gym memberships. I need to be motivated to go, because the problem is like once I'm there, once I'm in the workout, yes, I feel like I'm dying and my lungs are collapsing because I'm so out of shape right now, but I enjoy it. And then like especially once I'm done, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I just did that for 45 minutes or an hour or whatever. But getting there is the problem, let me tell you. I'm just not motivated. It's very hard for me to want to take my butt to a gym. So anyway, I'm like looking at these options. I'm kind of like, okay, well, this is what this gym offers, and this is like a class. Oh, this is just a gym. So I struggle with motivation just getting to the gym. Just getting there is just, it's hard for me. I don't want to get out of bed in the morning as it is, and I certainly don't want to wake up at 5:30 and like go to 6 a.m. workout class. It's just not me. Some people can do it. Some people, morning people, great for them, but it's not me. So in my research, and I kind of knew about this place called Title Boxing, and I saw that they gave you 3 free classes as like a new person who's never been there before. So I went Sunday and Tuesday. I am very sore. My back hurts a lot. All my muscles are very tight. Excuse me if you just heard that small burp that I just had. I'm sorry, that's gross. This mic picks up everything though. It's great, but also sometimes maybe not great. But yeah, so going to boxing now, so bought a membership. It's a month-to-month membership though, which I like because I just have to cancel, if I need to cancel like a month before, and then that'll be like the last month that I have to pay for. But yeah, hopefully I stick with it. I still gotta try to get back in the groove once school starts and figure out when is best for me to go. But that is one of my goals, to get back into a normal fitness routine. My goal is to go twice a week. So if you know me, if you see me, if you follow me on social media, which you should, especially Instagram. Instagram's like my main platform. I'm usually pretty active on there. It's Nicole_MERLINO 14. For anybody just listening to this, usually on YouTube I pop up a little graphic with my socials on it. So, but if you're just listening, make sure you follow me. But yeah, keep me accountable. Keep me accountable. 'Cause I need people to keep me accountable. I was telling my roommate, I was like, I really hope that, or not that I hope, but like I wish that, so this boxing place, like I said, so they gave 3 free days. So I sent in the email request to, go to a class for free, and we were kind of back and forth email wise because I wasn't sure of my schedule, and they didn't get back to me soon enough one of the days, not their fault or anything, and it just didn't work out. So then I was like, okay, I'm coming in Sunday, which was the next day, at 9 a.m. and they were like, okay, see you then. And I was like, okay, I have to go. Like, I just told them I was gonna be there. I have to make sure I'm there. Like, there's no excuse for me not to go. So I feel like I was telling my roommate this, like, I wish that they had some sort of thing, even if nobody checked it, even if it was like an automatic robotic computer response where I could like text or email them and be like, because with this pass, you can go to any class you want throughout the week. It's not like you have to sign up for a certain day, certain time. So I wish I could be like, I'm gonna come to the 5 o'clock Wednesday class, and then I would think there's a person on the other end of that message being like, okay, see you then. So now, because it's the owner, the instructor, just, somebody who works there, where if I do not show up Wednesday at 5, someone would be thinking like, what the heck, Nicole? Like, you said you were coming Wednesday at 5. Like, where's your butt in this class? Like, where are you at? So I think like a lot of places really should do that, because there again, it's not even like, it's not the same, because my roommate's like, well, I'll keep you accountable. I'm like, okay, I appreciate that. Like, yeah, maybe help get my butt up in the morning, but like, I almost need like to be embarrassed if I don't go, which would happen if I messaged a so-called instructor and then I like didn't show up, like I gotta show up. I don't know. It's so hard to like explain, but I hope you understand like what I'm saying. But it's like a necessary thing that these places need to do in order to keep someone like me motivated to actually show up and be there. Just a suggestion, if anyone out there owns a fitness or studio or gym or something to keep in mind, because there again, I don't know if it's a real person or an automatic reply system replying to me. But if I think it's a real person, like if I don't know any better and I just think like, oh, okay, it's like a real person, then guess what? Like my butt's gonna be there at whatever time I just told you I'm gonna be there on whatever day. So that's like my fitness goal for 2020. Trying to think of like, I know I wrote some stuff down. I'm not one of these people where I'm like, new year, new me. I will admit I felt that maybe a little more this year, because I think it was like the turn of a decade, so it felt like more important that I start off and getting myself on the right foot, on the right track. But usually I'm not like a whole like, new year, I'm a new person. Like it doesn't happen overnight, and it's a continual process. But why don't we just use that to transition? I do want to talk about on this episode of the podcast something that a friend of mine kind of brought to my attention is the subject of like personal growth. It's such a tricky thing because, like I just said, it's gonna be a continual process, and it almost comes and goes. I don't know if this is making sense, so let me just pull up some stuff that I wrote when I was having this conversation, and I made sure I wrote it down for the podcast. So if you haven't yet, I would recommend you go back and watch my I'm Not the Same Person I Was a Year Ago podcast. Listen to it. Pretty much I have been saying that this past year for me, 2019, was a year of a lot of personal growth, and that is 110% the truth. I grew immensely as a person, just in knowing myself and being self-aware and being more decisive and being more confident, and I would not trade that for the world. But I realized in talking to this friend of mine that I have become probably stagnant in continual personal growth. So I'm just gonna read. This is something that I sent. I had to heal myself and pray that I did it correctly. I healed and came a long way as an individual, but then I think I forgot or was so emotionally tired of trying to change myself that I forgot that there was still work to be done. If you want me to be honest, I feel like I've hit a wall. With greater confidence, there has come an unspoken pride that I'm okay how I am, forgetting and maybe not wanting to realize that there's more growth to be had, more growing that I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do. You know, I've noticed it's hard to grow when life is going good. You get complacent. It's easy to grow from circumstance. It's extremely difficult to grow from personal nature. This was just this past Sunday, January 5th. Well, when you're listening to this podcast, it'll be like 2 Sundays ago. But I want to talk about this because this is something that I cannot be the only one struggling with. I was dealing with a lot, and so I had no choice but to sit with myself, figure some crap out, and grow. And I am so thankful for that time. I say this in my Wasn't the Same Person I Was a Year Ago podcast. I would not trade that for the world. Would not trade 2019 for the world. 2019 to me was really like my setup, and 2020 in my mind right now is the year where I'm supposed to hit the ball. I'm using very much volleyball lingo, but that was like my setup, and now it's time for me to get a kill on this spike in 2020. But I grew from a place of hurt, which is very, very important to do. You have to grow from it, or I think it might almost be wasted. But what I have failed to do is recognize and admit to myself that there's still aspects of myself that I should be working on. There's aspects of me that I should probably always and will always have to continue to work on for the rest of my life. The biggest thing with me, at least lately, is I get very easily irritated. I'm extremely bothered, and just I get irritated by like the littlest things. Probably admittedly stupid things that really in the grand scheme of life don't matter. I'm easily irritated, and all these months I just, like I said, I was emotionally tired. When you have to sit with yourself and fix yourself, and it's, I call it my me, myself, and God time. It really does take a lot out of you, and at the same time you're still trying to pour into other people. And I'm extremely extroverted, so I have like a lot of people and a lot of friends in my life that I try to love as best as I can. And I was emotionally tired, and so I was like, well, I'm good enough for now. What is there left to fix? And like I said, I've grown more confident in myself, which is very good and very important. But with that came kind of like this internal pride of, well, I am the way I am, and just, this is what it is. The unfortunate part of that is that I just failed to recognize that this isn't just how I am. Like, this isn't just how I should be. First of all, I want to say that God still is crazy in timing, because my pastor actually just did a sermon called like In My Feelings, talking about emotions and how you deal with yourself and your emotions is very important on the same day, on Sunday. The next morning, I decided to open my Bible reading app because I was feeling all like poopy about myself, because I'm like, well, I kind of like suck as a human, don't I? Because I have all these list of things I should be dealing with, and I'm not. And I open up Colossians 3, and I read like the Message version, so it's very like new agey translation. But pretty much one of the sentences said, make sure irritability is gone for good. It literally said irritability. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I could not, I can't believe that. Just, it was like boom, 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 back to back. Don't be irritable. Stop being so irritable. Stop being so bothered by things. Was pretty much like just the repeated messages I got 3 times within 24 hours. And I'm like, well, should probably work on that, shouldn't I? 'Cause I mean, yeah, sometimes it's like funny. We talk about like what triggers us or why we're bothered or pet peeves, and sometimes it's like funny to hear like other people's gripes, because you're like, oh, like that's so funny, like you get upset about that, that's stupid, whatever. But I'm also thinking like nobody wants to be around a person long term who is always irritated and getting stressed out and getting anxious about things that really don't freaking matter. So that's kind of my personal growth goal that I didn't have until just a couple days ago, but that I am trying to be better at. Every morning I've woken up, like the past 3 days, I'm like, okay, Nicole, we're gonna keep like our irritability in check. We're gonna, we're just gonna calm down. We're gonna take a deep breath, and we're not gonna let something bother us that doesn't matter 5 minutes into the future. I've been doing pretty good so far. Considering how easily I get irritated, I've been doing good. You're not going to be perfect straight out the gate, but school hasn't started yet, and I feel like that's where a lot of my stress comes from, especially if I'm in like a group project or something. I'm preparing myself to try to not get irritated by that sort of stuff and trying to think of how I'm going to handle it better. Also, just the other thing I read to you guys that I wrote down. It's not easy to grow from something that is innately you, that is innately your personality, your characteristics. It's very difficult to try to fix yourself. What I called personal growth, which it was in 2019, it was in fact personal growth, but it came from a place of circumstance. It came from a problem. It came from some sort of external something that I couldn't control, that then I had to turn into personal growth. And I feel like that is a lot easier to fix and to change about yourself and to grow as an individual in comparison to something like this, that it's like they're again having the attitude of pride and being like, well, this is me and this is just how I am, and why should I have to change, and why can't people just accept me for the way I am? And don't get me wrong, I feel like there is space for that. I feel like there is a lot of space for, you shouldn't always have to be constantly changing yourself to please people. I'm not about that. I'm not about, people not loving you and accepting you for the way you are. But also, as my friend was trying to do for me, it's like they're also supposed to be trying to better you. As a friend to a friend, like, you should want to see each other be in the best possible state. And when they see me repeatedly getting stressed out over stupid stuff and getting irritated by things and people that really don't matter, they naturally want the best for me, and the best for me is to lower my irritability and to not be so irritable all the time. So I totally get that, and I totally respect that. And then it makes me want to be a better friend to my friends and, try to steer them and maybe have those hard conversations of like, hey, like, do you realize, like, this is like doing this to you? And like, I mean, is this how you want your life to be? None of us want to be known as the complainer or the irritable person. Like, I don't want to be known like that. I have edge to me. I have sass. I sometimes have an attitude. Like, I know that about me full well, but and that is part of who I am. I can be sassy and I can have an attitude sometimes, but when it's affecting like my mental and emotional health, that I'm getting stressed out about this stuff, it's just, there does need to be a change, and there does need to be a fix. And the time off, quote unquote, that I took from this personal growth, I shouldn't have really taken off. And this was kind of like the kick in my butt to assess what I need to grow in and what I need to do to be a better person, not only to myself, for myself, but to other people as well. It's very easy, as I wrote down here too, that when life is going like good, like when there is no external circumstance that's challenging you or something that you're fighting against, it's very easy for you to be complacent. It's very easy for you to be complacent, and where that complacency leads you in terms of personal growth is being stagnant. And then you're just the same. If you're not growing, then you're just the same. So yeah, personal growth is not an easy thing to do, to always talk about, to always admit that you need. Pride will swallow you up and spit you out, because it will just prevent you from correcting things that need corrected and addressing things that need addressed, because you're too proud to admit that maybe there's something to what somebody's saying, and maybe there really is in fact, improvement that could be had. So this is just, I usually don't, and I probably this won't change in 2020. I don't really give like advice because I'm navigating through all this stuff too. I mean, that's why I'm talking about it. So if you're listening for the first time or for the 20th time, it's not easy, but you're not alone in that. And I encourage everybody to self-assess every once in a while. Maybe have that conversation with your friends and say, hey, like, is there something that I should be correcting about myself? Is there something that I should be doing better to be a better friend and a better human in general? And see what they say. See what they say, like, your best qualities are. And, I'm preaching to myself. I tell you guys this every single time. I'm preaching to myself just as much as I'm talking to you, because I don't have it figured out. I don't have my crap together, and I am not gonna ever come on here and pretend as I do. Because that would be fake. And I claim personal growth, and I stick by that, and I stand by that. 2019 was growth on 10 in a lot of ways, but I'm not done. I should not be done. Was in hiatus, probably shouldn't have been, but we're gonna get back on track. Self-love, self-positivity, and you gotta use that as fuel to then give love and positivity to those around you. That's how I view it. You gotta be fed. You yourself have to be fed before you can feed others. So that's the rundown of 2020, everybody. That is the 2020 rundown. We out here, and we're not perfect, and we're learning and making mistakes all at the same time. And I'm excited. I'm excited for 2020. 2019, like I said, was kind of the setup, the precursor to what this year is going to be. Then I'm so freaking ready. Because it's going to be dope. That's all I got to say. It's going to be dope. Doesn't mean we're not going to deal with some stuff. Does not mean that crap is not going to come our way. But we're going to be more positive, less irritable, fingers crossed, on my end anyway. Whatever your thing is, and see, that's the thing, don't try to do too much at once, because if you try to focus on fixing this and this and this and this about yourself, you're gonna be overwhelmed. It's very overwhelming. That's why this is like a lifetime process. Like I said, it seems very clear to me from a lot of different angles that what I need to be focusing on about myself right now and correcting is how irritable I am about certain things, and how irritable I can get about certain things. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on correcting. And am I going to fail at it? Absolutely. Have I already failed at it in the past 72 hours? Abso-freaking-lutely. But we're going to get there. You're going to get there. Whatever it is for you, you're going to get there. And be excited. This is a new year, a new decade. I don't know. I just want everyone to feel how I feel about what's like to come. I'm really excited with graduating school in a couple months and what that's going to look like for my life and what I'm going to be doing, and all that's to come with this podcast and vlogging. And I'm excited. Life is good. God is good. Have great people, great people in my life. Very, very blessed. But yeah, 2020, we cooking. So with that being said, I appreciate all of you for getting to the end of another episode of Little Talks with Big Nikki. Make sure that you are subscribed. Make sure you are following. However you may be listening to this, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. We are on all of those. And share this with a friend. That would be great. Give us a review. I hear reviews are things for a podcast. There again, I don't really know. I hear things. I don't know. It's a thing, I think. So if you know how to give a review, if you want to give a review, that would be awesome of you. And I hope to have you guys come back. Hope to have some new people on board in 2020. And I'm really excited. Make sure you follow me. Facegram, everybody. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'll try to do better about putting those in the description, because I've been forgetting to do that, because I think that magically somehow people just know where to find me, and they don't. But if you're watching on YouTube, that should be popping up on your screen right now. And with that, I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next time. Peace out, guys.